What's going on over there?
Dude.
We're not in California yet.
I'm reading about AI software.
Mm-hmm.
I spent like a whole day like learning different AI applications and stuff.
Right.
I tell you, there's some crazy shit out there they're making.
I know they have some kind of computer program or robot or whatever that could read documents faster than lawyers and pick out imperfections. It took like 30 lawyers, and they gave them this document.
Yeah, we talked about this already.
Oh, yeah, we did?
Yeah.
All right, forget it.
What's funny, though, is these softwares, here's what the software does. For a long time, like, you couldn't get a computer to decide if something was a cat or not, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's funny, your brain, it's amazing how complicated your brain must be. Because now they're getting these softwares where they can start identifying things, like picking this out and saying, this is a cat. Like, because a cat can be in so many positions, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny that a human, even at a super young age, can look at any picture of a cat, no matter what position the cat's in, and determine that it is a cat. You know?
Right.
But you would think a computer could do that, but it can't. You know, it's so hard for a computer to do that. And it has to go through every single image that's possible of a cat and then fit that image into one of those possibilities. You know what I'm saying? But your brain must do the same thing, because here's what your brain is doing. Your brain knows a cat from the ass side, from the front side, laying on its back. You know what I'm saying? Because you've seen a cat in every one of those positions, and your brain has just remembered it. You know? And it's funny, your brain is so small, too. It's like such a tiny little object, and there's only such a small part of the brain that's actually being used to store the information of every single position a cat could be in. I mean, do we go in and do we just say, oh, that appears to be a cat? I mean, if you just look at a cat's paw, can you determine that that's a cat? I mean, you pretty much can. You don't need to see the whole cat. Just show me a picture of the cat's paw, you know? What's making our brain store, I mean, does it store the whole cat, and then we can just pick out the parts that we see and determine that it is the cat? It's like, what? It's way more complicated. So to get a computer to do that, it's just very difficult. So what they've come up with is these ways to, at least I've been researching, ways to examine like 70,000 pictures a day, you know what I'm saying, of different things. I'm just getting into the very basics of it right now, so I'm going to get further deeply involved in it. This is different than minutia points, which minutia points are picking out points on an object and then calculating like some mathematical relationship between them and then saying this is a unique item. Like your fingerprint, you only need like 7 minutia points to identify a fingerprint almost to exacting accuracy. And that's just the distance between one ridge to another ridge, to another ridge, to another ridge. Like, only several times is required. I think it might be 7. I don't remember how many. But to be able to identify an object by looking at it is something totally different. It's way more complicated than people think. And then to be able to identify all the objects that you've seen. It's incredible. It's incredible that a brain can even do it. It's almost mind-boggling to me that our brain is set up to do something like that. And even the most retarded brain can identify almost every object, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a genius to identify all the objects.
Right.
I mean, you can almost take your lowest grade moron and say, is this a chair? And he's like, that's a chair. You know what I'm saying? This is a cat. It's a fucking...
The circle.
It's not taking like some super high-end intelligent dude to identify every single object. But a tiny little bit of gray matter that's just biological mush that you can squeeze like a sponge stores all that shit that you're feeding with food. It's like, don't even make sense that a brain can do that. Well, we can build the biggest fucking computer in the world that can't do it and feed it as much electricity on the whole planet.
Huh.
It's something, what is in there that's doing that in your brain? It's triangulating something. And it's... Some
people are, just real mellow, and some people are, just off the hook, can't sit still. Why is there that huge difference? Is it just a different chemical?
A different set of connections is what it is.
It's like some guys don't, like this one dude I know, man. I mean, he didn't say a word all fucking day long. I mean, what is he? Yeah. Is he on Xanax or some shit from
man? Did he have a lobotomy?
I don't know.
That's probably it. He's probably had his frontal cortex detached from his, from the rear, and there's absolutely no emotion there. There's nothing going on except just the physical, everyday movement of life.
That's about how the dude is, man. Yeah. I've never seen nothing like that far. Maybe he did have one.
Yeah, he probably had a lobotomy.
Do they still do that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was some kind of biological thing he was born with, or some kind of accident he had where he knocked his head and it separated. And I almost feel like I want one. It should be like elective surgery. Like you get to pick if you want one or not. It's like. Like kind of like cosmetic surgery.
Our show would just be blank. Like
we just both sit here and just we talk about everything. Like I turn the TV on. That's what I say on the show. Really? I ate a bite of my food. I'm chewing it up.
Someone came to the door today.
I said hello.
That's more than what this dude was at work.
I wish I could get my brain to turn down a little bit of a level instead of always being so amped. It's like it's going a million miles an hour.
I know. I just want to shut down like that dude for a day. Wonder if he's on some kind of meds or something that made him just mellow.
Well, this machine thinking technology or AI technology that you can buy this little Intel processor now that's like a little thumb drive, and you can load this cafe software on there that's like a free AI software that Berkeley guys gave away for free. And then you can manipulate it any way you want and use. But right now you can identify like several items. Like let's say you have a bottle and a cup and a saucer. You know what I'm saying? It's so rudimentary is what I'm saying. There's no... I'm sure it's getting better, but it's very minimal. It's like, it's the shape of the horse. It must be... So that's what they're saying. I mean, what is this? Is the shape? Like we can... Anything in the shape of a horse we just determine as a horse?
Well, really, it could be a zebra.
Yeah. We can distinguish between all those almost immediately in your brain. But I don't think a computer could distinguish a zebra from a horse from a mule. Definitely not a mule from a horse. Maybe with the zebra they could say any horse that's striped becomes a zebra. So you could create a rule. But if I saw a striped horse, I would know it's not a zebra, that it was just a horse painted with stripes. You know what I'm saying? But a computer wouldn't be able to identify that it would call the striped horse a zebra because you created the rule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can tell you right now, if you painted a horse to look like a zebra, I could tell you that that's a painted horse. Unless you really did a good job, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, they just look different. They're shorter and fatter. They got bigger ears.
I'm pretty sure you would be able to identify the difference, right?
Totally.
Yeah, I don't think a computer ever will get to the point where it could get to that intelligent.
Even if you painted a zebra brown, you could tell it was a zebra.
Yeah, if you painted a zebra to look like a horse, you'd say that's still a zebra. But the computer would definitely think it's a horse. Because you'd have to tell the computer that a striped horse was a zebra. And then it wouldn't be able to create any other type of distinguishing feature that we and somehow in our brains can figure out. So that's fucking crazy shit, man. So I'm trying to get into this deep learning idea and like really digest it. But, you know, it's just I'm doing 20 things at once. You know what I'm saying? I can't do, some people are spending their whole life figuring this shit out. I don't have time to spend my whole life on it. I mean, I got a radio show to do. I got HTML I'm writing. I got a full-time job.
Really?
I gotta jerk off at least a couple times a week.
You gotta fix a car.
I gotta fix a broken car that's got a bad relay. Watch sumo wrestling. I mean, all the Yakuzumas got injured. So in this tournament, there's not one Yakuzuma. And the one Yakuzuma in there, he just sucks lately. He has not won shit. I mean, little low-level pieces of shit are knocking him out like nothing. He's just old. He needs to retire. I don't even know why he's still in there.
He's taking up a spot.
Yeah. He really needs to quit. It's kind of like if you were like the best quarterback like Tom Brady, and then now you were going to sit on the bench and just not... It's like, who does that? You just retire is what you do. I don't see Tom Brady sitting on the bench for a couple years and being the backup quarterback, do you?
Nope. You ever watch Gold Rush?
Yeah, yeah. Damn, I saw they made a whole bunch of fucking money recently on that show. It was crazy.
You mean they made got a bunch of gold?
Yeah.
It sure seems like some of those guys do a lot of work for just a little bit of gold,
This
though.
one guy got a lot.
The young kid?
It was a young kid with his old man, his old dad. I'm thinking if you think about the bottom of like the ocean, like in the Gulf where I'm going to move, none of that shit's been tapped. And I bet you there's nuggets down there. You don't even need to look for dust. You could just, if you looked hard enough, I think you could find nuggets.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, who's doing that?
The Bering Sea. Did you ever see where they dive in the ice with a big vacuum?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, though, that we should go and I'm going to start looking for gold nuggets, man. Figuring out where that shit's at. It's probably buried a little bit. You just probably got to dig a little bit.
You think you could teach a dog how to sniff it out? Here, find the gold, boy.
A gold sniffing dog.
Yeah. They can find everything.
He'd be worth his weight in gold. That fucking dog.
His point. Everywhere you go, if he points, you start freaking out like there's some gold there.
You dig it up and there's a gold watch.
It might be a nuisance after a while.
Well, it's never a nuisance when you're finding gold. It's tough to call that a nuisance.
I know, but I mean, what
if dog finding gold all the time?
This damn dog, every time I turn around, I gotta dig a hole.
Fucking dig up some gold. Well, they got those dogs that can sniff truffles, you know? They like take them out in the woods. And
they could sniff anything, dude. They can inspect your house for termites. They can smell termites.
Not only termites, bed bugs.
They could sniff.
They can sniff a bed bug.
Lung cancer by smelling your breath.
Yeah.
They use them for that. I don't know how often they use them for that.
You know how much, I mean, a truffle sniffing dog is worth like $1 million over in Europe.
As long as he doesn't. What are them things they look for down there where you're at?
Ginseng?
Yeah, ginseng.
Get a ginseng sniffing dog?
Oh, hell no, yeah.
That's a good idea, dude. I don't know if that exists. Let me Google that. Ginseng sniffing dog. I had subjects to talk about today, but I got sidetracked.
With my good stuff.
I got sidetracked with artificial intelligence. Well, you can buy a little plug-in module that can store your AI on it, and it can do visual interpretations. Intel makes it. It's called a Movius. Thing is crazy. No, it's called a Movidius.
A Movidius.
The Movidius plug-in module. You can buy it for $68. The problem is, No, 130. I see them all over the place in price. The problem is when you buy it, you don't know what to do with it unless you're really fucking smart. You just can't. You got to know a lot of shit to use it.
It's just a thingamabob.
It's just a conversation piece at that point.
You're like, that's my Movidius. I would tell you about it, but you won't understand.
I try to tell people about it. They don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So I don't even bother anymore.
What's a Movidius?
It's something you'll never be able to use, probably, I'm guessing. By the way, like, how far you came along so far, I'm not seeing it.
What does it do?
I was talking about that. Were we even recording when we were talking about that? Looking up those jobs on Amazon? Or were we just talking on the phone?
It's a processing unit to do visual processing. That's what it does. It's a little chip for visual processing. It's so touchy though that you can't even use it like in modern. Like I was watching this guy. He's like, if you want to download Linux, you can't do the current version. You got to go back to 16.04 and load it on there because it doesn't understand the new version. It's like, who knows that shit? It's like, he's like, well, I tried it. It didn't work. It's a good thing these people are trying this shit so I don't have to. What were we talking about?
We were talking about that job, that sales job.
Oh.
And you're like, hey, does your fucking website suck?
Yeah, I was going to work for Amazon and sell web services.
That's what you do. You say, hey, trust me, I could build a better site than your piece of shit website. I haven't even gandered at it.
Well, here, I've been doing some thinking about it, right? You know, Amazon has this thing called AWS services, okay? And what it is you're selling, I can't even describe it. It's hard to describe. But one of the things that they sell in the AWS services is accessibility for your app or accessibility for your computer, whatever you're doing. And what accessibility is it's secure identity. It's called Cognito. So what Cognito is let's say on our website we decided you needed to have a username and password to get into our website. Well, you know how complicated it is to develop that database of usernames and password and authentication? It's difficult. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, you should try to do it. It's really difficult. So what they do is Amazon sells the service. So, and they give you a patch. So you put that in your HTML or your page, and then the patch for the service is doing the authentication. You don't have to understand what I'm saying, but here's the part that gets me. Here's what gets me. You know, Amazon is the biggest bully on the planet. They're the worst company ever, probably ever in the history of the world. So how do you know they're not taking all those customers that you're feeding them through this accessibility service and they're just mining those customers from you? You know what I'm saying? And they're stealing them and then they're advertising directly to them. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Amazon's a whore. So do you want to trust another company to do your accessibility? Especially if you're a big Fortune 1000 or Fortune 500 company, you're going to hand that right over to Amazon as a service? I don't know. That seems kind of risky. It's like handing your whole customer base to an enemy. It's like handing all your manufacturing techniques to China. Who would do that?
Ronald Reagan?
America? Oh, that's fucking hilarious, right? So I come up with a whole thing that
We not only gave them the techniques, we gave them all the work.
And all the money. And then bought all the shit off them. So think about that.
It could be.
Oh, I know it's true. The first thing that popped in my mind when I thought about this Cognito thing was you're giving the people everybody you sell to. You're giving them all your information too. You're giving them all their authentication. It's like, wow, that seems kind of dumb to me.
That was a good idea for them, whoever thought of that.
Yeah, a way to find customers, a real cheap way to. And offered for next to nothing. I mean, it's pennies on the authentication. They charge you like 0.003 cents for each authentication. But then they're stealing your customer.
Oh, shit.
I'm telling you, I can find shit like this out quick.
All of a sudden, the black suits show up at your house.
Yeah, my Amazon account gets shut down.
You shouldn't have told anyone.
You can't have Amazon Prime anymore.
Sometimes, man, shit like that could happen because you figure when you start to talk about multi-millions.
Billions. We're in the billions now. Into the multi-billions.
They don't want to get exposed for no crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
It's called hush money.
Right.
They pay someone to hush you up.
They can pay me to hush up if they want. I'm all for that.
Yeah, they will, all right.
I'll
show you how to do that. Remember that lobotomy you were talking about?
That elective surgery lobotomy?
Wake up and you're just
call
big
a
scar
doctor
on your head.
I'd like to schedule a lobotomy. Like,
your head shaved.
What?
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to have any more emotions. I'm done with emotions.
Right. I want a vasectomy and a lobotomy.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how I'm going to be after this. You tell them.
You go in for a vasectomy and they give you a lobotomy. Accidental.
Tell them. You know how they're like, which side is it on? You start tricking people before they go out. It's the left testicle? Right when they're going out. You're not even...
That's why when you go in to have like a knee operated on, the day before you go in with the magic marker right on the one that they're not, right, not this knee. And Sharpie.
Put a target on the other one.
Yeah. This is the
right.
knee. Not this knee, right? Because you don't know when you're out what the fuck they're going to do.
Right. Wouldn't that be funny if they did that right when you're passing out? They made a joke about it.
That's what they did to my friend when he went in to have his done.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
They joked about it?
Yeah. They said, oh, let's take a look at this left knee or something. And then, boom, he was out.
That's not funny at all.
Yeah, he goes when he woke up, he immediately checked the other knee real quick, and they had done the right one, and he got us fucking with him.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, he probably does that a lot, that doctor.
He's probably like, okay, we're ready for the castration.
Mm-hmm. We're ready for the lobotomy.
See if you got your junk still. That wouldn't be funny.
Shit.
You could probably sue him for that.
Yeah, nowadays you could. Back then you couldn't. Back then we were tougher, you know, you took shit and you just laughed. Nowadays you gotta sue everybody like a big whiny baby.
That is still that's pretty low what he did.
Yeah.
You joke about some shit, but
I'm watching sumo wrestling right now.
You're lucky.
I'm lucky.
I got nothing to watch. I'd go upstairs and watch some fucking Gold Rush or something.
Yeah. Yeah, not having a TV is rough, dude.
I know, especially when you had two of them. Like when I got my second one, I'm like, yeah, I got two TVs. I should always be set for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Turned out I was way wrong with that one.
Don't ever give anybody anything unless you're ready to part with it.
Oh, shit.
That's how this world is, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Let's see.
People are like, hey, can I borrow that? I'm like, nah, you can just have it. No, I just want to borrow it. Nah, just take it.
You could just have it.
I don't want to fucking worry about getting it back, so just take it. It's yours.
You want to borrow my wheelbarrow?
Just take
It's
it.
like, don't you have a yard? Yeah. You might want to get a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, stop borrowing it. My wife always wanted me to borrow shit from neighbors and shit, and I'm like, no, I ain't asking them to borrow that.
Yeah, no way.
It's like, I don't fucking do that. I'd rather
That's
go buy it.
A tree trimmer. It looks like you got trees over there. Maybe you ought to buy a tree trimmer. That's what you tell the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Did your wife send you over here to borrow that tree trimmer? That's what you tell him?
You tell him this, you say. Because when my wife makes suggestions like this, I don't do it.
Yeah. It sounds like your wife told you to do that to me.
I'd be like, let me tell you a little something about trees. They keep growing. You might want to get one of these things.
Let me tell you something about wives. Don't listen to them.
Let it go in one ear and out the other ear and back.
Just nod and say yes.
Let it bounce back out of the ear, in and out. If it goes
oh, you know what? I watched a show about white supremacists the other day, right?
They don't exist.
Oh yeah, they do. And so, what I loved about the show, and it's awesome, I would love to do this for a job, is this guy would find out, he'd examine all the videos from all the rallies and shit, and then he would, when they accidentally exposed their face for a second, he would figure out their face and then try to research who they were. Then he would turn all that information over to their boss and their job and shit and get them all fired. That's so awesome to me. I'm like, dude, that would be the best thing to do.
How is he doing it? He's just taking pictures of the whole crowd?
Well, he would look at videos from news and people would take pictures. And when he'd go around, he would find people that had taken videos, like with their phones and shit. And he gathered all the information he could, and then he would try to find them. And then he turned the fucking information over. He got all these people fired and shit. Go to their parents' house, knock on the door and shit. It was some crazy shit. I was like, dude, this is nuts.
He's gonna get killed probably eventually.
One dude got court-martialed in the Marines. I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you fix those bastards.
For going to a Klan rally?
No, just starting violence in a rally. Any of these people that started a fight or provoked the violence, it was fucking awesome. I loved it.
I know, what is with these people lately?
Yeah, there's too many of them now. It's becoming an epidemic. Yeah.
It seems like this guy that, of course, they've been showing this guy that killed his wife and kids here.
Oh yeah, because he got sentenced the other day.
He looked like the most normal family.
Yeah.
Sometimes you never know, but they've been blasting his face on the news here. Bang, bang, bang. I mean, this dude isn't even getting a break with it. They even showed the judge. He's saying to him, in the thousands and thousands of cases that I've tried, he said, this has to be the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Well, they said he was struggling with debt and shit, and there's all kinds of issues, and it's like...
Yeah, dude, that's...
Just filed for bankruptcy.
I mean, something's definitely wrong with this guy. They're going to go through all this money trying to figure out if he's mentally stable or something, probably. We have to do an evaluation. Oh, I think I evaluated this guy already. There's something wrong with him. Because you're supposed to protect your kids no matter what, like.
Yeah.
You
think
think
it makes sense.
You are so worried of them getting hurt, even the skin knee as a kid or whatever. It's
right.
But how you get to the point where you could hurt your kids like that is fucking just nuts.
Hurt anybody like that.
I mean, anybody, but your kids especially.
Yeah.
They're like the ones you worry about, like.
He has some disconnect in his brain that's just not connected right.
When your kids leave to go play or whatever, you worry about them. Or if they leave to go, get their first, driving, when they're 16 to get their driver's license. You worry
You know,
about
Michelle
him?
Obama, she's got this new book out that's like already sold like 1.4 million copies in the first week.
Yeah, I believe that too. Man.
Someone should hack that book and just release it on the internet for free. Fuck these people making money for nothing.
Right?
Right? That's what I say someone does. If you're out there and you're good, do it. Fucking some Russian dude should do it.
Yeah.
Just fucking give it away for free. They got enough money. They don't need any more for what they fucking did. They didn't do shit. What did she do her whole life? Nothing.
I know, and she acts like she's...
Yeah.
Her opinion actually means something.
It's like she didn't do a damn thing, and now she's gonna sell all these books. It's like... I don't get it. I just don't.
Imagine if you were stuck just watching all those TV shows from the 70s.
Yeah.
I kind of am with that digital antenna, like emergency.
Yeah.
That's
Wow, really?
Like, yeah.
Oh my god. The only episode of that I remember was the kid, like, or the dad dropped like a pop top in the can, and then he was chugging, and then he chugged a beer, and then the pop top got stuck in his throat. Oh, that was an actual thing back in the day that people would drop the pop top in the can. Why were people doing that anyway? Does that seem like stupid anyway? It's like, let's throw a sharp object in our drink that we're drinking. Who was thinking about that? Just drop it right in here. The fuck? There's actually no logic to that whatsoever, except stupidity.
Yeah, I wonder how people just kind of glided. If you look back, like I saw a picture of this dude with like this big camera strapped to a helmet with bungee cords, and they're like the first GoPro. It was like from 1965, and it's like, this big old 15-pound thing. And I think he was skiing or something. But it looked like he was skiing.
He was skiing probably.
But things were just like totally... And that was okay, man. Those big cameras and a cord to your TV. The first remotes had cords.
Fucking antennas and shit. I remember my grandpa had an ultrasonic remote. It was, it used the sounds of clicking. Now that you think about it, if I was smart enough back then, you could have just made the sound of that, because it would have changed the channel on him from the other room. Just went clunk. Loud enough.
Yeah. Didn't the keys, if you shook your keys, it would make it change.
Exactly. Now that I'm smart, I realize it was an ultrasonic thing. I mean, I was no Sheldon back then, but I'm smart now.
And sometimes, and it was a motor in there that turned the knob.
Yeah, what was going on there?
You could pass up the channel and have to go back around.
It was funny that our grandpa needed a fucking remote back then. It was like he was the only one I knew that had a remote. It's like he was ahead of his time.
He was lazy, right?
Yeah, he was. Now we're all lazy, so.
Actually,
he was the first lazy person.
He was
ahead of his time in laziness.
Yeah. But you know what? We never really knew him as a young man. Maybe he was,
he was a
full
go-getter.
of piss and vinegar. But after you're like 55, you're like coming home from work, sitting on the couch, fuck it, just watch TV, fucking drinking whiskey and pass out, smoke about 8 Lucky Strikes.
Yeah, he smoked some cigarettes, that dude.
Back when people didn't care if you smoked around their kids or anything.
He used to smoke a whole filterless cigarette in front of us. Fucking 8 of them.
One after another.
10 of them in a row. While we sat there.
So did our grandma. She would be puffing.
And we used to think, oh, that smells good. Remember, we used to be like, that shit smells good. We were fucking killing our lungs back then, didn't know it.
It was probably getting us a nicotine.
Was our grandma smoking too?
She did it first, I remember.
I remember vaguely when she was really young and I was real small, she was smoking too. What did she smoke?
I want to say Salem's.
Yeah, did that even, yeah, maybe, I don't know, Kohl's or something.
Salem.
Hey, Graham, can I bum a Kohl off you?
Hey, Grandma. Back then, you could send your kid for a pack of smokes with a note.
Yeah.
Give my kid a 6-pack and a pack of smokes.
If you could, please.
And they knew who you were at the regular corner store. Not Palkas. What was the name of that store?
I don't remember. It was something like that, though.
It was, what was that store?
You'd have to go get a pack of smokes for your dad.
Shagrins.
While he banged your old lady while you were gone.
Hear me? Shagrins.
That was
that
all
the
a
store?
ploy. That was a ploy to get you out of the house.
Go get me a 6-pack and some smokes. I'm going to need them by the time you get back.
He was banging your mother the whole time you were gone. He had it timed out perfectly. It takes him 15 minutes to get there and 25 to get back.
Yeah, because he's got to carry a gallon of milk. He would give you a bigger list if he wanted to take
if he knew it was going to be a more exciting day.
Like if you drop the milk, you're like, oh no, right? You think your parents would be like sympathetic? They'd be like, what did you do?
Yeah. I always felt like I was in trouble.
Yeah, they always had you like, no matter what you did, you were doing something wrong.
Oh yeah, always. And at least when I grew up, I always felt like.
I think it was more our stepfather than anything. He just didn't like kids. Because it didn't even seem like he liked his own kids, unless it was us. We're the stepchildren.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than being the step kid.
You ever see this leaning tower in Italy of Pisa?
Yeah.
It's like, that thing's famous and it's a mistake. It's like, just someone straighten that fucking thing out already. It's easy to do. You just put a fucking thing underneath and crank it back up and pour some concrete. You're good to go.
Then it wouldn't be famous.
That's what I'm saying. What is what is something famous for being, it's like, the thing's about to topple over, you know? It's gonna fucking...
Hey, look, your building is crooked today. Hey, we'll call it the Leaning Tower.
Hey, yeah.
Can you go inside that thing?
I don't know, but they're saying that it's like, it like leans farther now. It's like leaning at a quicker rate.
It's starting to tip over? Like totally? Stick a 2x4 under there.
That's what I'm saying. It's time to crank that thing back straight and, you know, pour a little footing under there.
We should talk about that every day until someone does it. Hey, what's the matter with you?
What's the matter with that leaning tower?
We need to lean it the other way for a little while.
We just need to lean all the other buildings too.
Or tip it back and the other way.
Yeah, it starts going the other way when you tip it back.
Switch the leaning tower direction. Last time you were here was tipping to the right, now to the left.
Yeah. Huh.
There's like a leaning tower replica in Niles, Illinois.
Yeah.
If you're willing to go to Niles, you could actually see what it looks like. And I'm pretty sure they built that one crooked on purpose.
No, they built a tower and that one accidentally tilted too.
They should make it a restaurant.
Yeah.
A pizza place. They'll call it the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
I wonder if all the floors in there though, and then when they rebuilt now are level. They just built them a little bit off kilter. Even though the whole tower leans, all the floors are like level.
It'd be awesome if they were.
It's
they
like
really
they
should
pitched them.
use that. That'd be an awesome pizza giant. I bet it'd be packed.
Yeah. It'd be a tourist attraction.
Yeah, the feeling that it's going to tip. You're like, follow me to the 6th floor. Because there's probably a bunch of little dining rooms is what it would be like.
Otherwise your glass would just like fucking fall off the table and shit, or like...